Hello, welcome to Wild Logic. Today's message is hone your solar system for cosmic results. And what I see at the bottom of the deck is Six of Pentacles. This is giving and receiving. And I was just listening to a reading from Witch and Scythe that was talking about this. This is the topic of the message. We also have Nine of Cups in reverse, King of Swords in reverse, Ten of Wands. So what this is telling me is there's been a long journey of working against your own satisfaction and clarity. But there is a new beginning, there is new energy, and it comes from releasing and truth and clarity and healing, right? You're not missing out. You're on the adventure of a new legacy. And this is all coming from this give and take reciprocity mindset. Because this is the truth of how the universe works. It is through giving and receiving. So let's pull some cards. Let's see what the synchronicities are here. So this is a new channel. I appreciate you liking and subscribing if this is your vibe. This is a place for sacred rebels, for people that are willing to see the world in a new way, that would like to interact. I'm Glow. I'm a energy medicine practitioner who's been at this for a long time, but I've been laying low, doing stuff in academia and other spots, making things work, seeing how these principles play out in the, day-to-day world. And the truth is no matter where you are the magician. You are bringing things into the manifest world, whether people want to acknowledge it or not. So we have here the Seven of Swords and the Magician. The Magician is in the place of self. That is where we're at. We're realizing we're alchemists. Anyone having those things come through, that this idea of manifestation, no matter how you hold it, but knowing that our inner state, our inner solar system is what comes around us. But right now, the overlay is the Seven of Swords. So there's some sneaky business afoot. The world has some stuff going on, some stuff to alchemize, right? But we are on the path of becoming masterful in ourselves. And actually, this Seven of Swords is a great energy to get better at that. In the physical, we have the end of overthinking. This is awesome. And in the mental emotion, we have the High Priestess, intuition, seeing through the realms, right? Seeing that our mind and emotions are just portals through all of this, through the veil. So it's going to help us navigate. And because we're navigating in this mental emotional state better, we're able to stop overthinking because we are honing our inner magician. Our solar system is getting lined up really nicely inside. And so then in the realm of story, you have the moon in reverse. And this to me is saying that we have gotten past the time of secrets, right? We are revealing what has been hidden, right? The Seven of Swords sneakiness is coming to an end. And just think about how rife the world has been up to this point with this belief that it's okay to be sneaky. It's okay to be kind of underhanded. That's part of business. That's how things go. We don't like it when it's done to us, but that is what is necessary for this world. You know what? We're over it. The secrets are coming out. This is going to be, this is a collective story. So this is going to be for us as individuals, but also in the larger scale. So what is going to become more and more clear. And I'm getting to that because we could see through some of this, it's made us and we could see this sneaky energy. It's kind of put us off balance, but that is coming to an end. We're no longer going to beat ourselves up for seeing through the illusion and feeling off. Seeing the truth, it can be weird. There were those experiments that were done, psychological experiments, where people would say the thing that wasn't true, and people would agree with them because they thought that they must be wrong. They would go against their instincts in groups. And that is what the world is showing really clearly right now, is like how powerful that is, that how powerful, if it seems that everyone else is going a certain way, that we'll follow it. And this is used in advertising and other types of media, and this is called the bandwagon effect. When we think that everyone is doing something, we'll do it too. But for those sacred rebels out there that can see through this, that can understand the psychology of people and are not going to be thrown off of their alchemist stand, you are getting this energy, this message of a new way to walk in the world. And that's what the Knight of Pentacles represents. A message of new material movement. So this is a really cool start. Let's get another layer and see what else. Ooh, the now. Oh, right. The present of the present. The now is coming through. We got the Emperor and the Chariot, which is kind of interesting because the Emperor is all about structure and will, and the Seven is about, the Chariot is about forward movement. So it's this really like understanding the movement of now, like really understanding the structure of this present moment, really getting into your own being and consciousness and seeing how freaking glorious it is, my friends, because that's how alchemy happens. That's how we see through the tricky stickies, through the sticky swords of today. And it's true, I keep it light here because getting too heavy can start to make it harder to untangle the levels of brutality and indecency that we're surrounded by. It doesn't mean that it's okay to be in that energy and grieve it, but to take a step back and start to untangle it, to start to understand the psychology and how people move, that's the energy, in my personal opinion, that can allow us to start to manipulate and shift the forces in the right direction. So gratitude again. And this is the Empress and the Chariot. So we got kind of the yin yang here, the now and gratitude, being grateful for this beautiful moment. Okay. And that being grateful for this moment is what is going to help you see the truth. Woof. And now we got Soul on Fire. And the truth is going to set us on fire. It's going to empower us to work this Knight of Pentacles energy, this new way of walking in the world. I'm going to someone's retirement party today, and they're awesome. They had a major impact on my life. At this particular moment, I'm not like surrounded by pentacles, and even if I was, giving them a material offering doesn't 100% click with me anymore. It never has. I think we're like drowning in materials. We don't need more materials. No one needs more stuff for the most part. So my presence is the present, you know, and even if I was rolling in it, I still feel like that's better than stuff, gotta say. And feed that artist, right? Because what do artists do? There's a lot of things that artists do. They can create beauty. They can illuminate truth. They can also transmute materials. And so for those of you that are interested in creative energies, I'm going to really encourage you to start to think about the material aspects of your practice. What is in alignment with your understanding of the material world? And is there anything that needs to be fine-tuned, right? Because there is a material shift happening for us. We don't need so much stuff. That's going to help unhook us from this, you know, slog that we've been going through of really needing to drive our economy and growth as a, you know, large community, a country, through stuff and selling stuff to one another. Even if that stuff is ideas, we don't need so much. We don't need to all be hustling. It's bad for our minds and our health. So it's time to take a shift. And, you know, it's one of those things that there is a need for more high quality information and insight, and there are certain things that are needed, but they're not the things that are necessarily created in volume in a system like this. I'm just thinking about the software industry and how they're all like, you know, changing things, which is like, it's nice to have updates, but some of the stuff was like pretty good, and a lot of these updates are just to drive more sales, and there's often a lot of bugs, increase a lot of stress, but it's like a way to attract customers and, you know, keep their value up. So like, let's all just like chill, let our brains rest, right? Get into the now. And so delivering news and collaboration, this is like the solar system, this inner solar system, like us aligning with others in that way. Like, once we're aligned, other people can line up with us because we're going to be fully present and can see the truth. So get those systems done. And that will help us intuitively know what to be loyal to and what will bind us in a unhealthy way. So we have the adventurer coming on with Soul on Fire, right? Because we have to be, if we're tethered to anything, it's our inner solar system, this soul mission, whatever that is. I mean, it doesn't have to be a business plan, my friends. This can be just you expressing truth as best you know it in this moment. It doesn't have to be another empire. We don't need empire after empire after empire right now, do we? I don't know. It just seems like a little sweaty, a little too busy, a little unnecessary. We can all just take a breath. We all need to cool our brains out so that we can address the most critical things that are out of alignment in ourselves, our families, our communities, so we can help one another. And then here we have the forgotten, right? So with taking on this kind of transformation, like working this kind of wheel where we are stepping out, we start to feel like, oh, well, if I'm not doing what XYZ is doing, am I missing out? Do I need to be like everyone else to be successful? And here's the thing, is like anyone that's created a success footprint in this world, they were a bit of a trailblazer, right? And so if you're trying to follow in their footsteps to get their opportunity, that's tough. It's not necessarily going to turn out right, and you're missing your actual opportunity of your artist. Feed your artist. Feed your artist. Okay, so we're going to get a few animal spirit cards to help us. And so here we have the turtle, that we're always home in the self. You know, the turtle itself is a little solar system. And then we have the peacock, beauty, radiating from the inside out. Let's see. Okay. So then we have the zebra. And this is about being eccentric, like being an individual. We also have the bat and the rabbit here. And this is about finding calm and tuning into the moon and the night and seeing the sunrise. It's almost like an inverse. Day to night, night to day. Right, the black and white stripes of the zebra. So let's take these one by one. Here we have the turtle, which, you know, walks with its home on its back. It lives as its own little universe. It represents an ancient soul, grounded, trusting, at home in the self. It's wonderful to be in the presence of a turtle personality. Like the beaver, the turtle has a strong relationship to the earth and water elements simultaneously. This helps ground and connect them to the deepest truths of life, no matter where their travels lead them. The turtle energy is behind all great writers and storytellers as they collect life experiences under their shell for later use. The most potent turtle energy helps us close all the other books and begin to tell our own true tale. When in balance, peaceful, adventurous, and productive. When out of balance, slows down to a halt. To bring into balance and adventure. So, and there's so many different kinds of adventures, right? That kind of adventure that you can take into your own solar system that will allow you then to become the peacock. Which is known for its beautiful feathers, right? We admire it. But it also, in this deck, represents inner beauty, compassion, the assimilator of anything. And this, takes us back to the Seven of Swords, alchemizing the lies into truth, showing, revealing what is truly there. The beauty of the peacock is unrivaled. It's easy to think it comes from the plumage, but the secret of the peacock is that the beauty resides within and extends outwards indefinitely. This adept creature can assimilate or digest all experiences in life, so it does not harbor resentment, conflict, or past pain in its psyche. The peacock type is extremely rare. Not many of us have reached this advanced level of acceptance of the self and others. And acceptance is important to hone. We can't fix a lie. We can't fix a hidden truth. We have to become aware to care and to see what's there. We have to become aware to see what's there. And once we see what's there, it can be realigned and honed. When in balance, confident, kind. When out of balance, can't digest situations. So, and to bring into balance, meditate on the navel, that creative center. All right, and finally we have the zebra. Eccentric, creative, visionary. Zebras are the most precious of gems. They are young at heart, well-cultured, and have an undying curiosity about life. Being in the company of a zebra personality is not only a delight, but it also opens our minds. Be prepared. Their potent magic is contagious, and you may soon find yourself in a faraway land, expanding your worldview while having a blast. Zebras also like to contribute to the global health through environmental or volunteer work. This card may be a hint to pack your bags. So another calling for an adventure. Worldly, enthusiastic, fashion forward is how a zebra is in balance. When out of balance, jaded, pouty, and vain. To bring into balance, an epic adventure and art. So feeding that artist through creating, through observing. The act of observation is creative because our consciousness has been created since our birth, right? How we see the world is unique to who we are. And we have the opportunity to cultivate a new way of seeing and being. And this is really what the statement, hone your solar system for cosmic results. And first you have to know that you have this inner world, this beautiful inner world of your life and adventures. And you have to learn to start telling the story of your life in a way that gives you energy and momentum, that sets your soul on fire, that starts to see that all of the things that have happened on your journey, how they have built you into who you are today. And you get to start to hone and decide who you want to become. But I do recommend you really start to question what beliefs inside your solar system are things you want to keep. Perhaps there's some area of your life, in my example, love. Like, who doesn't struggle with love? Or even work, right? There's a lot of areas in my life where I need to tune up. And I think this is something that we can continuously do. But as I grow and take risks, I start to see where I'm holding myself back because of some of the beliefs that are keeping me down. Like this feeling that I was never good enough, right? It really held me back even when I was doing the things that I thought I wasn't good enough to do. And I know many people hold these beliefs. And they come from a variety of experiences and messages and advertising and media and comparing ourselves to others. Where the story we tell is XYZ didn't happen because there's something wrong with me. And the truth is there's nothing wrong with anyone. We're all beautiful spirits brought to this planet. There is a structure in place right now that keeps us at odds with one another and ourselves because that's the way it is. I mean, there's so many different ways that story can be told. But the truth is, it came to be, I think, somewhat haphazardly. It was there's a lot of haphazard, quick evolutions of how humans work together. And now it's time for a reckoning. It can be as simple as that. It doesn't have to be really heavy-handed. Even some of the darker aspects of this are just things gone wrong because there's been this rapid growth that we didn't understand and didn't know how to tend to. And some people could see the warning signs, but until it gets to a critical mass that people see the warning signs, nothing can change. So things becoming clear that they need to change isn't necessarily a bad thing. As someone, I can see things when they're off pretty early, but a lot of folks don't necessarily want to tend to it. There is some real power in being able to see this because you're able to start to work the energy and spaces and put things into alignment in ways that other people can't even understand. Because you can see the process, how things move, how things culturally move. So, and one of the ways that I've learned this is, these methods, this idea of thinking through the physical, mental story, and energetic have helped. But ultimately, what I keep it to is very simple. It's the Tao is a way that it can be expressed pretty simply yet concretely while still leaving it open. It's quite a beautiful way of looking at things. If you're interested in that type of Eastern philosophy really resonates with me. And it's also a powerful way for you to potentially start to hone your solar system. Learn when to hold on and when to let go. And that's an ongoing process. If it's an area that you're less skilled in, I have plenty of areas I'm not skilled in. And so learning to hone and trust and see and allowing the things that are meant to be to come, that I know will come, but getting out of the way to do my part and then let everything else do its part. Because the truth is we can't do anyone else's part. All we can do is our part. And part of our part is recognizing what our part is. It's a little bit like the Serenity Prayer in 12-step traditions, which it's knowing whose role is what. The messy and confusing thing here is knowing what is unclear, and it comes a lot to story and values. So for example, if you love someone and they're going through a difficult time, right? There is ultimately what they do and what you do. But it's not something where we can turn away at certain points. I feel like there's like a washing of hands in certain situations where they're actually, it's not time to wash your hands and step away. There is a lot more love and support that's needed for people, not necessarily put on any one individual, but healing doesn't happen in isolation. It also doesn't happen in controlled environments. It's I don't know, the work of Johann Hari is really great. Oh, and it's right here actually. Chasing the Scream is some of the research and storytelling I'm thinking of here. And it's where people just giving space to feel safe in an ongoing way is what will allow them to heal. So, so if people are disowned and have no safe place to live and be safe, then how are they going to heal, right? But at the same time, like an individual can't necessarily have their world turned upside down by someone else's chaos. So but does that person like helpless or hopeless? No, it's just we collectively do not have spaces where people can actually heal. And we've created a story about addicts and mental health illnesses that are not true. And there's a lot of them out there. And I don't think any of them are ultimately true. But what's true about people is true about people, which is if we go through a lot of harm, we need time and space to heal, whether that's emotional or physical harm. And if we are not given that time and space, then we start to get all sorts of different coping mechanisms. Oh, wow, that's a rant. Why is that all coming in? Because this is part of the solar system, is knowing the ultimate truth, which is we're individuals and we can't do it all, but we can see the truth of the patterns and speak to them. Seeing is both beautiful and painful, and it is in many ways based off of this like Taoist understanding for me. So yeah, the complexities, but we're not going to let that hold us back anymore. We see, we're tuned in, we're present, we can tolerate the complexities of the world because we are present. It's funny how not being present can actually make it seem like that's like we're doing a bunch of stuff to try to fix things. But those things are often not in alignment. Anyway, that is the message for today, my friends. There is a creative, soul-based, beautiful way to address this. Your alignment within yourself is of paramount importance to you and the world you walk in. And it's going to open up a light within you that will also spread to others, because there is something so magnificent about someone who carries an embodiment of light and truth and love. All right. Well, be well. Hit the like button, subscribe. It was really beautiful to be with all of you today, and sending lots of love to you on this journey. Bye.